I wish I'd chosen a wedding planner. I have worked at a few. Has the pandemic? I missed a question. You've got this. Hi guys, it's Lorna, the business owner and face behind the brand Lorna Marie Events. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am so excited for this new business venture, so thank you for joining me. I wanted to start by introducing myself for those of you who don't know me. I am Lorna, a wedding and event planner based in Colchester, Essex, but planning weddings and events across the whole of East Anglia and branching into destination weddings as well. I wanted to welcome you to my YouTube channel by starting off with a Q&A video. I asked my Instagram followers a couple of weeks ago what questions they would like me to answer on camera with you here today. So there are 20 questions to go through, and if you'd like to like this video and subscribe to my channel, then I can make sure that you don't miss out on all the upcoming exciting content that I have planned for you. Without further ado, let's get started. Question number 1. What is your favourite part about planning events? I like this question because although I feel like having the job that I do, I am the luckiest person in the world. I do have a favourite part, and that is building the relationship with the clients, whether that's them on an individual basis or learning about them as a couple and their proposal story and how they met. I love to think that I am able to build up that trust with them so that they can rely on me to execute their day of dreams, whether that's on the day itself with on-the-day coordination or whether they opt for my full wedding planning service, so that I can get to know them and really build on creating an event that just screams them. Number 2, have you always wanted to be an events planner? Yes, I have, but when I'm asked this question, I always feel like I have to say no because it's too cliche. But in all honesty, yes, I have. I've always been that friend that has a spare this or that in their bag, just in case. Because as an event planner, we always need a contingency plan. And I've always had an eye for design as well, often shopping, asking my mum, can we have this for the table? Or can we have this cutlery or this foliage? I absolutely love getting creative and being all hands-on in creating gorgeous designs, whether that's table designs or designs within the house elsewhere. So yes, I have, although I didn't take the plunge and actually get involved in event planning until just before the end of college, so I was between 17 and 18, and I threw myself in the event industry, gaining experience in local venues to me. But I have always wanted to be an event planner, and I haven't looked back since throwing myself in the industry. Number 3, how busy is your event planning life at the moment? Unfortunately, as many of you know, the wedding industry has taken a really hard hit this year and last year. So my event planning life isn't super busy. It's not bursting at the seams as I would hope. But I am busy in a different way. So I am busy behind the scenes. Obviously, I have started this new adventure on YouTube where I'm hoping to bring tips and tricks virtually to couples in the hope of getting married sooner rather than later. My fingers are crossed for you. So busy in a different way, not as busy as I would hope planning people's dream days and occasions, but we'll get there. We have to stay positive, and I'm keeping busy as I can behind the scenes. Number 4, what is my favourite summer wedding dessert? Now I like this question because anyone who knows me knows I'm an absolute foodie. So my favourite summer wedding dessert has to be Eat On Mess, and I would love to hear what your favourite summer wedding desserts are as well. If you want to comment on this video, then I am all for it. The next one is, what is the most helpful element of having a planner for a couple? Now again, this is a really good question because an event planner can be a huge investment for a couple, and I would say the most helpful element to have a planner on your day is on the day itself, as they are able to take the reins for the day. That means you can sit back and relax on the day that matters most, and you don't have to think about all the things that are running behind the scenes, i.e. whether the DJ's turned up, whether the caterer's got the allergens memo. So for us to be there on the day, I think that's the most crucial part and the most helpful element of having a planner, because on the day that's only meant to happen once in a lifetime, you want to sit back and enjoy it, you want to relax, you want to look back and remember it as you would hope, and not remember it like, I wish I'd chosen a wedding planner because I've stressed so much on the day when really it wasn't necessary. Question number 6, do you have a favourite venue? Now my short answer for this is no. I have worked at a fair few venues and I haven't come up with my ultimate favourite yet, as so many of them have very individual characteristics that make them amazing. But I thought what I would do for this question is merge it with another one that I got, which is, what would your dream wedding location be for your business? So what I'm going to say is I'm going to list a few things that would be found in my dream venue. to work at. So number one, it would probably be found in the countryside. Secondly, it would probably have some historical context to it, so maybe we could learn something about the venue 70 years ago, or it still has beams from whenever it was built that have been saved. And the third thing is it would be flexible in how it could be decorated, so it would suit traditional decor and style themes, but it would also be suitable for modern bride and grooms who want to get married but add a little bit of something different that breaks the wedding rule book. So that flexibility would be fab. So my dream wedding venue for my business, and what aspects would be found in a venue that I would call my favourite, is historical aspects, countryside location, and flexibility to be styled both traditionally and following modern themes. Question number 7, what is my most popular service? Now, I think this probably relates to a question that I answered earlier, and I would have to say on the day coordination, purely because of the element that your wedding planner can take all the stress away on the day of your wedding when you should be enjoying it most, and that's what on the day coordination lets us do. So for on the day coordination, we have an idea of what you envisage your dream day to look like now. We'll have met your suppliers or found out what suppliers you're using, and we just take the reins so you can sit back and enjoy your day. That's why I think on the day coordination is the most popular service. What is my favourite colour? My favourite colour is yellow. Number 9. What do I look for in recommended suppliers? I like this question because obviously I recommend suppliers to my brides and grooms when they sign up to having me as their wedding planner as part of their wedding journey, but it is key to remember that my recommended suppliers are not necessarily going to be their favourite suppliers. I can recommend suppliers based on what I know of them, but it has to, at the end of the day, it has to be the bride and groom's decision, because they're the ones getting married at the end of the day, not me. This question is relevant though, because obviously I have to recommend suppliers as part of my service really. So I look for honesty in a recommended supplier. If you are going to be honest with me from the get-go, whether that's about your experience or your expertise or your prices, I think we're going to get on like a house on fire, because I know from the get-go that I can respect you and I can trust you because you're honest. Second thing I look for is reliability, because who doesn't want a reliable supplier? I want to know that I can count on you. I want to know that you're going to be there, you're going to do what you say, you're going to live up to the promises that you say to the client. If you say that you're going to be somewhere at 9 AM, I'm praying you're going to be there at 9 AM because you said you were. So if you are reliable, I think it's more to do with punctuality and living up to what you promise. And also I look for dedication in a recommended supplier, because if you are dedicated to your business, the work that you do and your client, then we're on a similar page, because clients are always at the forefront of my mind, so really they should be at the forefront of yours. And number 10, what is the worst situation that you had to switch into a positive? So this is when I first threw myself into the industry and I was volunteering at venues near me, and it was a wedding day and we just served the buffet food and the tables broke. It was literally like this, and it went, and all the food went. So that wasn't great, but the way that we turned it around into a positive is that the DJ took it on as their duty to make everybody get on the dance floor as soon as possible, so we had time to clear up the mess and get the food back out fresh. So the guests were distracted. They were having fun on the dance floor. I think there was a common party tune came on that everyone wanted to get up and dance to, and that allowed us time to turn around and pick up the mistake and make it look as like it never even happened. Number 11. Do you work to a timeline? Yes, I do. I believe that if I work to a timeline, then I can make sure that my clients stay on track. And I know it depends on when they book me and what they've booked at the time of booking me, but I do think regardless, I think a timeline is great to stick to, because then no one is stressed, everyone is on the same page, and it means that we can enjoy the lead up to the wedding itself. Number 12, what do you do when you're not working? Well, when I'm not working, I perform. I am a triple threat performer, and my most recent performance is Wizard of Oz, where I played Glinda the Good Witch at the Mercury Theatre in Colchester. And honestly, I can't wait for theatres to be able to reopen their doors, almost as much as I can't wait for the wedding industry to get back on its feet. If I'm not performing, i.e. at the moment, because it's really not possible, I love to walk my dog. I have a 10-year-old Springer Spaniel cross Jack Russell cross Beagle called Libby, who I love to walk in the countryside with my parents. How has my journey been to get to where I am now? In one word, fun. So fun. I have loved every minute. I don't regret anything, and I'm still loving what I do. I'm so excited for the future, and I am so grateful for everything that I have learned up until this point and of what I continue to learn. I have met so many lovely people that I can call on for industry advice, but can also call on as friends. And I am so grateful really for the industry to be as kind and caring as it is, because I love what I do. I love my clients, I love my supplier friends, and I just love what I do. So the journey to get here, it has been hard. It has challenged me more so than I thought it perhaps would, but I wouldn't take it back. No way. I love what I do. Has the pandemic inspired you or given you any more creativity? Yes, 100%. I'm here now, aren't I? I'm not sure I would have started a YouTube channel if we weren't in a pandemic. I also launched my website in the first lockdown, which I was so excited about. So that gave me the time to get that sorted, get it live, and show it to all of you guys. And I have learned so much about my branding and my business from other industry professionals in this time when we haven't been able to run events that I may not have learned otherwise. I'm super grateful for the time that we've had, although I'm ready and raring to go for when weddings and events can happen again. Next question is, do you have ideas for your own wedding that you have stolen from other weddings you have done? Yes, I think I would be silly to say no. I have seen so many creative couples bring to life so many special aspects to their wedding day. Although saying that, because every wedding is unique, I am still hopeful that I will be able to bring some sort of creativity to my own wedding day that comes personally from me. But good question. Do you have any top tips for people that are planning their weddings during this lockdown? Yes, I have 2 things that I would advise you to do. Number 1, try not to watch the news too much. I know that sounds really funny, and of course you need to watch the news to find out what's going on in the world, but I'm serious. If you watch the news too much and you get really bogged down by it, it can really affect your mood when you plan your wedding. You know what's going on in the world right now. You know that's the reason that it's stopping you from getting married as you perhaps initially expected, and so you don't need to be reminded. So try not to watch the news too much, enjoy your planning process as much as you can, and I'm sure it will come. I'm certain it will come if you forget the news for a couple of hours and focus on what matters most to you on your wedding day. And number 2, reach out to your suppliers, because we are all human, and I think this pandemic has highlighted more than ever how much we love to communicate with one another, and they would love to hear from you. Make sure you are all on the same page, and I think reaching out to them would boost both your mood and theirs as well. So they're my 2 top tips for couples that are planning during a pandemic. Then my last question, which is, what is your top tip for people planning their weddings? My top tip, regardless of where you're at in your planning process, regardless of what's going on in the world right now, is to prioritize. Honestly, I cannot stress enough how much it will help if you sit down and prioritize what means the most to you on your wedding day with yourself and your partner. I think it's super important that you, from the get-go, you write down what's important to them, what's most important to you. Have a look, really dig deep. Honestly, this is one of the biggest days of your life, perhaps the biggest day of your lives, so you don't want to compromise. You want to make sure that all the most important things are at the top of your list of your wedding planning process. And to get them sorted, you have to know what's coming first. So that's definitely my top tip. Okay, so that's all the questions, and actually it seems like it was less than 20 in the end because I sort of merged questions without realising. But anyway, I want to thank you all for sending in the questions. I'm super grateful, and I hope you enjoyed this because I really did. Please keep an eye out on my social media. The links are somewhere on my channel, in the description, in my about page, I'm not really sure, but they're there somewhere, so please keep an eye out because I will be asking your guys' opinion on what content you would like to see, although I've got plenty of ideas up my sleeve for you. That's all for now. Stay safe. Mwah.